Hey everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the Central England temperature today. I've had a very interesting message left from me by somebody called Younger Dryas in the comment box, pointing out that we seem to go through something like a 14 or 15 month cycle of warmer and cooler than average sort of periods. I'll have a look at the Central England temperature in a moment and show you how this plays out. It could be, if this is continuing and we are currently in a 14 or 15 month cycle of warmer than average period, it could be that we're coming towards the end of this cycle sometime around October or September. We could start to see things going into a cooler phase perhaps, although there's no particular reason why we should be going through a 14 or 15 month cycle of warmer and cooler than average conditions. So it could just be that this is all just coincidence in terms of these numbers. It really depends on what you personally think, and it's not going to take long to find out whether this is going to continue, because if we are in a 14 or 15 month cycle of warmer and cooler, we'll be coming to the end of this current warmer cycle any time soon. It'll be September or October most probably when things start to go cooler again. I'll show you all the detail in a moment. It's quite a complicated point to get across, so I hope I do it okay, but see what you think in a minute. Before I get on with that, though, just want to talk about the advertising. There's video ads on my pages at gazweathers.com. If you hit play on the video ad, you'll be supporting gazweathers.com. Thanks very much for doing that. So let's just start off with where we currently are with the Central England temperature. This is the CET from Hadley. Central England temperature, of course, is the longest temperature index anywhere in the world, going back to 1659. Is a bit of controversy because Hadley, the Met Office, took this over in the 1970s and changed the stations around a little bit, so it's not a direct comparison right way back to 1659, but nevertheless it is the best we've got. It's very useful in the longest index anywhere in the world, longest continuing temperature index. So 2014 so far has been very warm, of course, as we know. All months so far have come in above average. January 5.7, 1.9 degrees above average, February 6.2, March 7.6, April 10.2, May 12.2, June 15.1, and July provisionally currently stands at 17.4, which is an anomaly of around 1.5 degrees above average. And that could tick up a little bit more actually through the final week or so of month, because we're in for more very warm weather, especially later on this week. So most months have been running generally around 1 degree to 2 degrees above average so far through 2014. We are well on course, by the way, for the warmest year on record, if this was to continue to the end of the year. But as I say, I've had this message left in the comment box by somebody called Younger Dryas, and by the way, if you want to leave any messages for me in the comment box, you are more than able to do so. Just leave your message and I will read your comments. Don't always have the time to reply to everybody's comments, just depends how busy I am really, but I always read the comments that are left. So if you want to get involved and join the discussion, do use the comment box to post your view. It'd be very interesting to see actually what you think about this particular theory, because as I say, this could just be coincidence. There certainly isn't any scientific reason why we should be going through a 14 or 15 month cycle of cooler and warmer periods. But we're going to start off in December 2009, which is this month just here, coming out at 3.1. This seems to start the first cycle of the period, and this is a cooler cycle. So we get December 2009 coming out at 3.1, and then we go through 2010, where most months through 2010 come out cooler than average, on the cooler side of average. Not every single month was cooler than average in 2010. There were some warmer months, but generally it's quite a cold year. Actually, it's a very cold year in 2010. I think it's just about the coldest since 1986, and that goes on into January 2011. So that first period is a period of around 14 months where we get most months, not every single month, have to stop that, but most months through that period from December 2009 to January 2011 come out colder than average. So that's quite a cool period. And there are some significantly cold months in there. January 2010, December 2010, severely cold months. Then from February 2011, we seem to go into a warmer period. So I'll just change the colour for you there on the highlight so you can see this. From February 2011, we go through a warmer period which takes us through 2011. Again, not every single month through 2011 comes out warmer than average. We do get the odd cooler month, particularly through the summer months of 2011. It was a relatively cool summer, but generally through that period from February 2011, we are on the warmer side of average, and that takes us through into the first 3 months of 2012 up to March 2012, where again most months through that period are on the warmer side of average. And that's another 14-month period, this time not cooler than average, it's a 14-month period of warmer than average conditions. Then from April 2012, we appear to go into another cooler phase again. So there we are in April 2012, I'm highlighting it in blue, we go through the rest of 2012, and most months again through this period are coming out cooler than average. Not every single month is cooler than average, but many of the months from April 2012 onwards are cooler than average, and that takes us through the first half of 2013 up to June 2013, where all months through that first half of 2013 are cooler than average, particularly of course focused around the winter months, January, February, and that ferociously cold March in 2013, which is just about the coldest March I think since Victorian times. That is a 15-month period of cooler than average conditions. So that brings us up to where we are now, and again now we're going through another very prolonged period of warm weather. Started in July 2013, has gone on through the second half of 2013. Again, not every single month comes out warmer than average through that final 6 months of 2013. There weren't the occasional cooler month, but generally very warm second half of 2013, and of course as we know that takes us through 2014 so far, where every month has been above average, significantly above average in many cases. That takes us through to July as well, which we know is going to be very warm, and if the theory is right, that'll certainly take us through August as well, which will be another much warmer than average month most probably. Then we get to September and October, which are going to be these 2 months just here, and if this theory is right, but we're in a 14 or 15 month cycle, it'll be, if it's 14 months, it'll be September that turns cooler. If it's 15 months, then it will be October that turns cooler. But either way, one of these 2 months, September or October, worth looking out for, because if this is a 14 or 15 month warmer than average cycle, we're going to come to an end of it in September or October, and then we could go into a cooler phase, and if we go for another 14 or 15 month cooler phase, this will take us up towards the end of 2015, with many of the months coming out cooler than average, perhaps up to December 2015. Now I say this could all just be coincidence, it could just be playing around with numbers really, and when you look at numbers you can really come out with any outcome that you like, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting to see how it develops. I'm not all that struck on whether this is right or not, to be honest, because I can't think of a scientific reason why we should be going through a 14 or 15 month cycles of warmer and cooler than average. But it's going to be interesting to see anyway. We've not got long to wait and see whether this theory carries on for another cycle, because as I said, if we are going to go into a cooler cycle of 14 or 15 months, it'll happen around September or October, so it won't take long to verify whether this is right or not. Just very quickly have a look at the charts coming up for the weekend next week. Before I go, here's the GFS showing I've got high pressure nicely through the country again on Saturday. It's going to be very warm into the coming week and into the weekend. Temperatures probably getting back up towards 30 degrees, 86 Fahrenheit by the end of the week. And then as we go through into next weekend, we're going to find the high pressure really is continuing to dominate, although it's going to next week just that the high pressure might start to pull back into the Atlantic a little bit and start to allow some slightly cooler air to come in from the northwest, particularly affecting the north. The ridge is still through England and Wales, so I'm not sure we ever really push that cooler air down into England and Wales. And okay, time to get through to day 10, which is the 31st of July, final day of July, actually signs that high pressure is ridging back in again across the country. But just for a day or two early next week, we might bring some cooler air down from the northwest and turn it cooler and fresher, particularly in the north. Not sure how far south that gets. The East MWF for the weekend shows we've got slack pressure over country, so we may have some thunderstorms actually to deal with on Friday and Saturday. I'll have to keep you updated on that. As we go through to the start of next week, again, just that suggestion that the high pressure is pulling back into the Atlantic ever so slightly, allowing slightly cooler and fresher air to come down from the north, particularly affecting Scotland again, where it could turn a little bit more unsettled. But that cooler air may get as far south as, say, Wales and the Midlands early next week. So if you don't like the heat, you could just about get a little bit of a reprieve for a few days early next week. But it may not last, because as we go through to the middle of next week, the idea is that high pressure again is reaching back in from the Atlantic, although it's maintain relatively coolish weather for Scotland, but for England and Wales, high pressure reaches back in and probably turns it warmer and drier again. As we get through to day 10, which is the 31st of July, the final day of July, the idea is that the high pressure is really in across the country and maybe slipping eastwards, allowing hotter air to come back up from the south again, actually for the start of August. And this low pressure over Spain and Portugal, heat low, is looking like bringing another Spanish plume, actually, so maybe turning hot and thundery there as we get through to the start of August. That's quite speculative and it isn't greatly supported by the GFS, but it'll be one to keep an eye on at the start of August, perhaps another plume and thundery type scenario. So that's today's video. I hope you found it interesting. Let me know what you think of the 14 or 15 month theory in the comment box. We'll have a more detailed look at the next 8 to 10 days in tomorrow's video. That's all for now. I hope you found it interesting. Bye for now.